Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Menjívar. I am a software engineer. I've been coding for the last. I remember doing my first Hello World in 2010, almost 10 years now. I've been doing this professionally for a living the last 5-6 years. And today I want to talk to you about web scraping with JavaScript. Well, it's basically web scraping you can do with any language, but in this case we're going to focus on JavaScript. So we have to answer one question: what's web scraping? And in summary, web scraping is the process of fetching data when you don't have an interface to do so. For example, if you want to retrieve the tweets for a specific account, you have an API provided by Twitter that allows you to do that. But in some cases, you don't. For example, I don't know, probably a supermarket or a website from government, or I don't know, any other type of website that you are interested on getting the information, work with it. Probably you want to use it for your application to have a more realistic test. And the process is simple. In most cases, you will fetch the website, you will parse it because when you fetch it the website, you will have text, basically. You have to somehow parse it into, I don't know, HTML, nodes, something that a structure that you can manipulate, and then you get what you want from that. And why will I want to scrape a website? As I mentioned, probably you want to use it as data for your test for an application. You're learning. In my case specifically was because I wanted to enhance, or mostly because I wanted to enhance how some specific website looks. I'm going to show you in a minute. And probably you want to monitor your brand, your product, and in a specific website in the comments you want to see what people are saying, and that the platform does not provide you on a specific API. There's a lot of uses. You can get creative. There's endless possibilities for that. And let's see. I'll show you on a specific website. Let me see here. Show it here. And I think I'll be able to. Yes. And here. Let's try here. So, this website is from the government of my country. By the way, I'm from El Salvador. And it is basically, they are showing the congressman, another Salvadorian. Hey, let's go for pupusas later. So, they are showing the list of deputies or congressmen. You know them here as senators. That's another topic. And they present it in a really, well, to be fair, it does the job. It presents you the list. It says, okay, this guy is from this party, and the name, I guess, yes, the name over there. And I'll show you how you can go through that. Right there. Yeah. So you see how he's fancy in probably in 2010, he was fancy. You can do that. And I said, well, I want it to be more 2019-ish, and I scrapped this website. I grabbed the information. I grabbed the information from other places too, and I created a new version. It's more clean. It's more 2019-ish, and let's see. We are going to see right now. How does it look? Over there. So basically here, I pulled the information and I put this more 2019-ish cards when I present the same picture that you were seeing. It's not that I am grabbing the picture and saving it into some database in my site. I'm just scraping and grabbing the URL and put it there so I can load the image. But the rest of the information, the name, the years, the party, the department or state, if you want to make a comparison, I am saving them in a local database because I don't want to be fetching all the time this information. I decided to do 3 stages for this purpose. The first stage is scraping the data, grabbing the data from the website. The second stage is structure all the information into entities, for example, I don't know, the deputy entity, the Congress entity, the party entity. So I can then, I then build this simple viewer where I am not directly presenting the results of the scraping, but I am presenting the results of my structuration, if that's a word in English. So in this way, I am solving one problem. What if the data of my target or the way they are building the website changes? So my website is not going to crash. It's just going to, I will have the time to make some modifications. So my structure, the middle structure that I am building with the data keeps showing the information that I want to here in the viewer. And I just manipulate whatever they have changed to present it the same way. So, continue with the presentation. There you go. So, that's what happened here, and that's the repo that I have shared with you in this lab. You can watch it. It's built using Next.js. It has some MongoDB, but it's basically in the cloud, so you will probably want to build, create an mLab account, so it's really simple. Now, one of the questions that I was getting when I was doing this, because you know, politics can get dirty, was if I could get in trouble. And the question that I obtained was, it depends. It depends on what you are scraping, or which website you're scraping, what you are doing with information, or well, basically the purpose of your work. Well, there's our disclaimer there. You should always read the terms and conditions of the website that you want to scrape. But there's some precedents here in the United States, basically, mostly. There's this case. It was settled on September of this year, where this company was having problems with, well, LinkedIn. Well, this company was scraping data from LinkedIn that is publicly available, and LinkedIn say, hey, why you are doing that? So let's go to court. The decision that this case draw was that if information is publicly available, that means if you don't need to create an account, if you don't need a login, if you just go there and it's there with any of that protection, if you want to call it, there's no problem on doing an automatic tool that can read that. But if you have to create an account, if you have to, I don't know, get credentials or tokens from APIs, that flag is saying that the data is not publicly available, so you shouldn't be getting it without the permission of the owner or the presenter of the website at the target. So Wikipedia, you can go there and scrape data. There's no problem with that. Everyone can see the data from Wikipedia without having an account. Results from Google, I don't know, probably even Walmart. The products from Walmart, you don't need to have an account. But those are examples. We need to go to the specific target and see, how, okay, do you allow me to do this or you don't care? There are certain websites that put some tools, technological barriers that prevent scraping from happening. So, but this presentation is not just about web scraping. It has in the title with JS, so let's see some codes. And let me share with you some very basic code here with one of the tools that we mentioned that we were going to present. It's called Cheerio, and it's basically an implementation of jQuery, the way I see it, in, well, you can pass a text and a string, and it will try to parse it into XML or HTML for those that are more familiar with that technology. And then you will be able to manipulate it as if you were using jQuery. I don't know how many here have used jQuery before. We have used it a lot. So that's Cheerio. Basically, it allows you to pass a text or string. It parses it and allows you to manipulate it. So in this case, it's a really simple example.
Do you want to show that over there? Or?
Oh, sorry, I thought we were.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted.
Thank you. Duplicate. Okay, let me see if I need to put this bigger.
Please.
Okay. Is it okay like that?
Thank you.
Okay. So, in this case, I'm using Node.js, and I need to install two packages. You know how we install those packages? We come here and npm install and Axio and Axios and Cheerio. Those are the names of the two packages. I already installed them, so I'm not going to do that again. It is a really simple script. I am importing or requiring Cheerio. I am also importing Axios, which is for those that are not familiar, Cheerio is just the package that I described, but Axios allows you to make HTTP service requests, so you get information, data, HTML, or an API call. So that's what we use Axios for. Then I have here a constant, and that I'm gonna, this is my URL, the target in this case. I am targeting this popular website. It's called News Y Combinator, Hacker News, for those that are familiar with. I am then saying, okay, Axios, please get me the information or the website or whatever is there. And well, for those that are not familiar with JavaScript, this is an asynchronous call, so you will need to wait it or then it. I am doing it the old way. So you then receive here the information, your response, and this response will have some property that is called data. But I don't want to treat it as data because I know that it's HTML, so I just put it an alias. So I can use this as an HTML. And then using the package Cheerio, I say, okay, Cheerio, please load this text that I'm receiving. And I am using, for those that, for the nostalgic of jQuery, I am using this variable. So I know it's my jQuery implementation. And then I execute this query. But what's that query? If we go to the Y Combinator, it's here, Hacker News, and I click on the developer tools, I can inspect the DOM. So I can see that I have a table which contains all of those rows. Then the row has a class name, which is a thing. And I'm seeing that the pattern gets repeated, for example. Oops. Should have here. Right here, I have another A thing, and you can see that in each row, when you have that A thing class, it means that it's a different row, well, in this case, the title. So you can infer that if you query that specific class as you were doing it in jQuery, you will retrieve all those nodes. So that's what's happening here. Let me see, right here. You will retrieve all those nodes. And then, again, very jQuery-ish, you will go through all of them, and you can get the index and the node. And you can do whatever you want. You can parse them, you can make a fancy structure, save it into a database, or you can have them all here as you like. So let's run this very simple script. I am going to put a breakpoint here and a breakpoint here, so we can see all. And now we have get to this point where my node is that specific node that I'm seeing over here. I believe it's this one. Yes. So it will contain, oops, in the children property, all of those, well, let's see it here better. Let's close this, children, and I believe it's going to be data. Let's see. If we go to the inspector, let's see what's the structure for that. So we'll have a TD, you will have a TD, float links, have a title, and there's another title. Okay, so what I can do is, yes, okay. So right now we are retrieving everything, right? So we are getting all of these nodes, but it is not that helpful at this moment. Well, at least for the purpose of showing it. So if I go here, I was watching there that the third one, I believe, this is a TD, no, this is a TD. Let's see. It has children, and these children, no, let's do it easier. So I will stop this, and I'll say that, okay, we are in jQuery, remember the jQuery world. So I will say that I want the A thing, but I also want to get deeper into that node. So I want to get the TDs that have title on it, like this one, and this one, but I'm seeing that the one that I want to target, because I want to retrieve the title for this test, I want to retrieve this string. So I'm seeing that that node, the title, the TD class, because TD class is repeated, but that specific one has a node, a link node. So I can quickly develop or write, oops. And I can say, as in jQuery, TD, title, A. So if I execute this, what I will get in the node is the A. And that A should have somewhere here another node that is text. And now I have my data. So now I can go through all of them, extract that specific property, and I have my information. So as you see, it's a question of going and scanning yourself the structure, and then developing your queries. So you are basically in the jQuery world there. I don't know if you have a question up to this point.
Just a quick question, you're not using index, but do you have to have it in there in order for it to like properly get you the node?
Yes, the thing is, that's the first parameter that they send, so
okay.
I have to receive it. I have seen some developers doing this when they want to, well, in Go.
Just like an underscore?
Exactly. Yeah. In Go, when you don't want to access a property or you don't want to use it, and it actually helps the compiler to not just run for that. You use that, but in JavaScript it just assign that name.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just put it there because that helps me think. Okay, I have the index there if I need it.
If you need it. Right.
Exactly. And then I'm gonna remove this. You will be able to see here in the notes how we have all of the list specifically there. If I execute it. Over here. We have all the nodes, at least the ones that are loaded here in that specific variable. I believe it was children, yeah. and 0. Khan Academy and blah, blah.
Mhm.
Okay, so as you were seeing, this is, I will call it a very straightforward process. And you will basically be applying this pattern all the time, right? So before getting to know the next tool that we will see, I didn't know of its existence. It is called Artoo, and it basically helps saves you time doing the how is it called, the boilerplate of the Axios, the blah 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 blah. I didn't know about it, so I created my own. This is called. I actually made it an MPA package. It's called Scrappy, and it basically helps you. I think I can copy this. It will work, I hope.
So we all say.
Like famous last words.
So I'm just gonna install it.
I built this and it should work.
I built this and I hope it works. Okay, it's installed. And I don't want to call it a library because it is not. It's just a helper, or I don't know if you have another fancy name that I can use. I think it will work. I hope it works. Because I discovered that Google somehow changes the class names on their CSS.
Mhm.
So let's see if it works. I discovered this is the booger, yep. And I should have here my results. So let me explain this quickly. So Scrappy, what is Scrappy is I am implementing Cheerio inside, and I thought when I was building it on three things that you may want to do with Cheerio. You have a URL, which is here, right? That's your target. And I call this other property query objects, which is basically a way of saying, okay, you know what? I have an endpoint for that specific URL. I have a name. In this case, it's Pupusa search for the other Salvadorian that we have here. And I'm saying that that search will have collections. In this case, that collection is search. And the query to have that collection is this. Again, probably Google have already changed that, so I hope it works. And from that specific collection or item, you will have properties. And those properties, you can access them like this. So let's run this. So basically, it's doing a Google search with pupusas in it, and it worked. It worked. So basically, what I am having here is a structure that is retrieving me because this is an array, the query objects. So it's returning me this search, if you want to call it that way, because I can have multiples. If I want to go to another part of that specific website, I just create another JSON-ish type of template, if you want to call it. And based on these properties that I'm writing there, it is retrieving me the entity, which is called search, as you put here. And then it is putting me the properties that I set. Well, in this case, it didn't get the title. And I didn't provide any attributes. Probably another one got the title, I hope. Nope. As I mentioned, Google may have changed that. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Just when you thought.
I will, yeah, because I saw that those weird names of classes were not because someone named them that way, so probably Google is doing it some kind of
random generated.
Google magic, and that's why it's not working right now. So probably if you go to the MPI package, you will need to change that or something similar. So, I don't know if you have questions until this point.
Very straightforward.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay. And then the last tool is a more developed version of Scrappity, but if you want to use it, you can use it. It will work when you put the right class names. And it's right here. So basically, they stole my idea. No, just kidding. And I am going to install that. Install Artoo. So what we need to do to Artoo is, let's see, to methods and settings. Because this is the developer life, you always have to have in hand the documentation. Why cannot they provide me a straightforward example? Nope, they don't have any specific example. How do I tell you where to go? Or I do that with Cheerio. There you go. Yeah, I do it with Cheerio. That's correct. So it's not called Artoo, it's called Artoo.js. And I have already Cheerio. And okay, so what I'm gonna do is, okay, it's there. So what I'm gonna do is come here. That's for Cheerio. And as for Artoo. And then what it's saying is that I need to bootstrap this. It's probably gonna be doing the same. And then, well, I'm gonna require access again. And then I'm gonna say, yeah, so I need to do this, but I need to have the HTML. So again, we will do for URL. Grab that from here, over there, say this guy to do it. I'm making a lot of typos because
Because people are watching.
because people are watching, exactly. What do I have here? This one right here. Okay. So you're telling me that I still need to do this. Counts. My XML string, my HTML in my case, and then what do you want as params? I don't like the bar. I don't know. Just don't like it, so I don't use it that much. And what you want to browse is yes, exactly. But I want the information here. So how do I get that? Well, let's do it. Because right now we are getting TR 18, TD, title, A, and that needed to have, because href, let's see what we get with the href. Title text. And I think this is going to be valid, but let's try with text. And then here the structure, I'm just going to create over here. And we're going to close this, put this, and play. There you go. So we're retrieving everything directly to a collection or an array of objects. So we can quickly use it in MongoDB, which is going to be the most, well, in JavaScript, the most direct way of just saving it, or we can use another database or a text file, or you can do, you have the data now, so you can do anything that you like to do.
And what was the error? How come we didn't want to do it in the first place?
Say it again?
What was the error? How come we didn't want to execute in the first place? Like you were restructuring so it could work?
Oh, that was with Scravity. The error was that Google changed the classes of the CSS and put them, well, not change it, but put that on a random name. So when I built that specific test, when I uploaded the MPI package, it has different names, and now I will have to go there and do it. But now I am using Artoo.js, which is this other package that has been more developed than my own, than the one that I built. But it has the same idea. It wants you to be quickly getting the data from the nodes that you have retrieved. In this case, Artoo is saying, okay, you know what? This query is saying that you will get a list of A nodes. What I mean A is the link, the A. And those nodes, as we are seeing here, have the href, which is the link for the, in my case, this is the Hacker News website. It's a place where developers or anything in the tech industry, but post news that are interesting for everyone. So that specific node has the href, which is the URL of the new, and it has the text value, which is the title of new. So when I am executing this query, I am getting all of this as a list. And I know that in the URL, in the href attribute, I will have the URL. So I'm saying, okay, all of the href from this node, put them in a property that is called URL. And all the text, which is the value that is inside of the node, put it in a property that is called title. So when this library, which is called Artoo, executes all of this, it presents this result. And now you have the data, so you can do anything you like with the data. So, any questions?
No, that's pretty cool.
So, if there's no more questions, this is what I wanted to present.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Thank you.